Hi. So let's say I have a table here. This is a word table. All of the data are punched in here. And after creating all the calculations, punching the numbers, let's say I realize that product B is not 22,000, it's 2,200. When I change it, I'm just going to select the bunch of values, press F9, all the data got automatically updated. Let's go and see how to do this. Let me take you through this with a few examples. So the first example, I have a bunch of students and their marks in various subjects. I just need to get their totals here. And this is in Word, not in Excel. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to the Insert tab, go to Quick Paths, click on Field, and I'm going to choose among the fields Formula and click the Formula button. Automatically I'm seeing a formula here which reads equal to sum left. In Word, you can use cell reference like in Excel, but there are also keywords like left, above, right, which will do calculations based on the relative positioning of the cell. So sum left here, what it's going to do is it's going to sum all the values to the left of that particular cell. So let me click OK, and here I've got the total. I can copy this and I can paste it in rest of the rows as well. Unlike Excel here, automatic calculation doesn't happen. I'll have to press the F9 button to refresh the calculation. You see a gray shading behind these fields. Don't worry, these are just to indicate that these are calculated fields, and actually I've enabled that option. Otherwise, by default, Word doesn't show that. And when you try to print this document, you will not see that gray shading at all. Now let's go to the example I initially showed. Let's say I have a bunch of data here where I've got the product quantity, and in this particular case, what can we do here? I need to take the price and quantity and multiply them to get the value. I have two options. One is to use the product function. Another one is to use cell reference. I don't recommend cell reference, but just to help you understand how it works, let me first show you that. So if it was an Excel file or if it was an Excel sheet, the second column, second row will be named B2. Third column, second row is going to be called as C2. So I can use that cell referencing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Insert, Quick Paths, Field, Formula, Form, and click on the Formula button. I'm not going to take sum of left. I'm going to put as equals B2 multiplied by C2. Click OK. I've got the answer. Why this is not a great idea is, unlike Excel where you actually have the relative reference in place, when you copy paste below this B2 times C2 becomes B3 times C3, here that does not happen. This formula still remains B2 times C2. You will have to right click on the values, go to edit field, click on the formula, and then change it cell by cell, which is not a great idea. Therefore, a better option is when you're working with Word, when you're doing calculations in Word, the better option is to use the left, above kind of keywords. So let me use the field here. I'm going to use a formula here called as equals. Instead of sum, I'm going to do product. Product is going to multiply all the values to the left. It will leave out the text. If anything is a text, that's going to leave out. So don't worry about this first column having a text there. So let me click OK. I've got this formula here. So I can copy and paste this for the next two rows. Press F9 to get the latest answer. And to get the summation, I'll again go to Insert, Quick Paths, Field, Formula, sum of above, which automatically appears. And I can just copy and paste it in other columns as well. See, sum of above and sum of left, etc. These are kind of options that are like closer to my relative reference in spreadsheets, right? But it's not just about tables. In Word especially, you can also do calculations if they are part of your running text, and that is by using bookmarks. So that's what I have here. So let me delete this up first. Now I've got this 9,000, and what I want to do is, let's say we are trying to gift a bouquet comprising 1 unit of each of these products. So that's going to cost me 9,000 to 250 employees. So my total cost is going to be 9,000 times 250. I want to do the calculations and I want to get it here. How do we do it? What I'm going to do is I'm going to use bookmark here. You can't refer to a table cell in Word. You can do that in Zoho Writer. I'll show that to you later. So I'm going to select this cell. I'll go to Insert, Bookmark, I'm going to name this as, let's say, cost. And this number of employees, which is 250, let me select this and name it as number of employees, NM. So now that I've given names to these two values, 250, this is a bookmark called NM. This 9000 is a bookmark called cost. I'll go to insert, quick paths field, formula. Formula is going to be cost multiplied by NM. Okay, and I've got the answer here, right? If I'm going to change this 250, let's say instead of 250 it's going to be 200, I'll change this and I can select this and press F9 or right click on this and press update field, click on that update field, and you see that the answers are automatically changing for us. We can also do this in Zoho Writer. Zoho Writer has certain additional features. Let me show you how that works. Zoho Writer is the word processor of Zoho. It's an online software. In this, when you're giving formulas within a table, it works very similar to MS Word. So here, in order to insert a calculated field, what we're going to do is click on the menu icon here, go to fields, under dynamic fields, choose formula, and the formula that we're going to have is product of left. That's what we gave in MS Word, same as what we're going to do here. If we want to do some formatting, we could right click on the field and choose the formatting options. Now, when it comes to Zoho, there is one advantage over MS Word. In MS Word, referring to a cell inside a table, outside of the table, was only possible through a bookmark. We had to create a bookmark. On the other hand, in Zoho Writer, you can name a table. So here I am selecting the table. When I'm in the edit mode, I do see a table name here. I can give my own custom name if I want to. So here I have two tables, vendor A, which has a quotation from vendor A, and here is vendor B, which has quotation from vendor B. This table is named as vendor B here. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I just want to find the difference between these two numbers. In order to get this, I don't have to create a bookmark. What I'm going to do is fields, insert field, insert formula. In the formula section, I'm going to click on this reference here, plus icon, which gives me an option to give table cell reference. So this is going to be vendor A. The cell reference in this case is going to be cell B5 because the price I have 9000 is in cell B5. So vendor A cell B5 minus vendor B cell B5. That is going to be the difference which I want in my Excel or in my document. I'm clicking here. So I've got vendor B cost INR 700, which is simply the difference between the two, 700 less. And we are done. Now that we have learned to do all the calculations in word process, a very important question. So should we use spreadsheets for the calculations or can we do all the calculations in word processor? See, when it comes to word processor, the calculations, be it Zoho Writer or MS Word, their capabilities are fairly limited. So if you look at even the number of functions, they're not too many. You don't have a sumifs, you don't have a VLOOKUP, you don't have an XLOOKUP. And also these functions are good at handling numbers. They're not that great at handling text. So then comes the question, why should I use these processor at all? Sometimes when we do a work, we do a lot of text-based work, which requires a lot of rich text formatting. Spreadsheets have great calculation capabilities, but they're not good at rich text formatting. You don't get all the formatting features in it. Word documents or word process can help us do that. So if your work is too much word processing and very little calculation, it's better you do them in Word. So things like raising up POs or invoices, if you're using MS Word for doing them, you could use them. Rather than copy pasting from an Excel table every time you change a number, this would be far easier. All right. I hope you found the video useful, and if you like the video, do click on the like button and do subscribe to our channel and do share the video with your friends. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.